I'm Stacia Gailliard in Moultrie County, where day after day of no rain is causing fear of fire, and especially as we get closer to July 4th. This is Newswatch, and your Monday edition starts right now.
At Carl, we dedicate ourselves to helping you be great. And we have the expertise and inspiration to help you stay that way.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.
Live, local, this is the award-winning Newswatch.
July 4th celebrations are just around the corner, and the show must go on, even if the funding isn't there. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Benson.
And I'm Allison Twaits. Money is tight in a lot of places these days, and when it comes to the July 4th celebrations, there's no exception.
And when you have fireworks, flyovers, and live music, all that adds up. And some communities have found they just don't have the funds for all of that. Newswatch's Kristen Leone is live in the studio with more on the holiday plans for a couple of Central Illinois communities. Good evening, Kristen.
Good evening, Allison and Andrew. You hear this phrase all the time, but literally, the show must go on. And it will in Charleston and Arthur, just with a little less bang. When this time of year rolls around, Kevin Huffman crunches a lot of numbers.
We've kind of struggled a little bit. We haven't received as much from the village of Arthur as we have in the past, but you know, we're aware of their budget restrictions.
Huffman is part of the Arthur Rotary Clubs, and he keeps close tabs on what's being spent on the town's 4th of July festival.
We pay for some skydivers to come in. We pay for some small airplanes.
With a celebration that calls for all that, plus music, fireworks, and live entertainment, it also calls for quite a bit of funding.
We'd have to cut back on the size of the show. I mean, I can't imagine that we would get to the place where we'd cancel it.
And like Arthur, money's tight when it comes to Charleston's Red, White, and Blue Days.
Unfortunately, you know, with funding down, other costs continue to go up. It's like the stage rental, even the porta potty rental's gone up. You know, just things like that. You know, all the costs continue to go up. Funding's a little tough right now.
And because of that, Cochran says those planning the celebration have spent wisely.
We're going to go ahead and have 3 great entertainers, a wonderful parade, lots of activities in the park. So we're going to go on just like we had all the money in the world.
Charleston's Red, White, and Blue Days happen July 3rd and 4th in Morton Park, and Arthur's Freedom Celebration kicks off June 30th in Juergens Park. Live in the studio, I'm Kristen Leone. Back to you.
And as Nick Patrick just told us, sunny weather and blue skies are in the forecast for next week. We join him now in the Skywatch Weather Center, who always continues to bring about an abnormal amount of dryness throughout Illinois.
Good evening, Nick.
Well, good evening. Hot, humid, and windy are the conditions right now in Charleston. Right now, still sitting at 90 degrees. That's about 4 degrees above average for this time of year. Feeling like 90, but those dew points are starting to rise up, as well as strong winds out of the southwest, 20 miles per hour. These winds are going to continue to increase as we head into the evening and tomorrow. I'll let you know how hot things are going to get coming up in a few minutes.
And as Nick Patrick told us, sunny weather and blue skies continues to bring about an abnormal amount of dryness throughout Illinois.
Newswatch's Stacia Gailliard tells us how so many days without rain is becoming a fire hazard.
Good evening, Andrew and Allison. This type of crunch noise is normal to hear from hay, but it's not the type of sound that you would think to hear from grass. And it's just another example of why this type of dryness is causing a concern.
Conditions being as dry as they are, the chances for a fire rapidly progressing into a large problem increases significantly. With the little rain lately and high winds, it's dried out the ground to a level where a small fire, campfire or a controlled brush fire, can become uncontained.
Last week, a brush fire in Sullivan caught the fire department's attention. A Sullivan man started a fire in his backyard, walked away, and minutes later...
And the wind had pushed the fire clear across the field.
Cody Bonebreak, who works the open hayfields around the county, knows a fire like this is all too easy to start. He says this summer the grasslands are drier than last year.
You could probably throw a cigarette out the window and catch the land on fire if it's just because it's so dry out.
But it's not just cigarettes that can cause that outcome. Fireworks pose a problem too.
We had a fireworks display last Friday. As you can see from the small burned areas, the remnants that come down just swallow sparks with everything as dry as it's been lately. Some of the risk with taller grass, this is really dry at the tip. If you have a small fire that starts at the base of it, if it's wind driven, fire can rapidly take an area in this size here within a matter of seconds.
With this dry weather, the grass can be very flammable, especially with the 4th of July coming up with the fireworks. We want to make sure if you're out shooting off fireworks, have a fire extinguisher available.
The fire captain advises you to avoid from starting fires, but if you must start a fire, you need to be more cautious than usual. I'm Stacia Gailiard in Moultrie County for WEIU Newswatch.